Hey guys, Oscar here from notagrouch.com, and we're just having lunch at our .com lunch, and we have a special guest today, Syed Balkhi from WP Beginner and a lot of other companies. He's a young entrepreneur, internet mostly, and I want to ask him some questions for you. Not only does he produce some of the best plugins out there for WordPress, but he's incredibly successful, so I want to ask him a little bit about that. Hopefully you learn some things as I have learned from him. Hi, Syed.
Hey, Oscar, how are you?
Good. Thanks for coming out for us and hanging out with us. So, obviously, a lot of people know you from just WP Beginner, Optinmonster, and you recently acquired one of the biggest plugins in the WordPress ecosystem. So, tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we were fortunate enough to acquire Google Analytics by Yoast. It's the most popular analytics plugin in the WordPress repository in, I think, March or April time. And we rebranded it into Monsterinsights because obviously we couldn't keep the Yoast name,
sure,
because they have their own brand. But yeah, it's a pretty decent acquisition for us because a lot of our users use the analytics. Everybody uses Google Analytics.
Or they should.
Yeah, they and if you're not, you should. It has over 11 million downloads and close to 2 million active installs. It's a huge plugin.
So you obviously had a lot of plugins that are widely successful.
Yeah.
The share bar, what's
Floating Social Bar.
Floating Social Bar,
yes.
Optinmonster, of course, and you recently also launched WP Forms.
That's correct.
So all that is not just luck. You don't just wake up in the morning and acquire one of the biggest plugins. So tell us a little bit about how you handle yourself to be able to succeed in things like this, because it's a competitive space.
For sure.
So what are some of the tips that you can give to somebody starting out or wanting to go into entrepreneurship?
I think the number one thing is knowing where your goals are and where you're going. You know, there's, I think, 40-some thousand plugins in the WordPress repository. So when you're preparing to launch one or acquire one, you need to know what your long-term goal is. And you know, these little acquisitions, these are short-term things that are going to help you get to the long-term. So for us, you know, we have WP Beginner, which is the largest WordPress resource site. We survey our audience to figure out what they're looking for, what are their struggles, and either we partner with the company or we create or we acquire. So one of the first things that everybody wanted was a contact form, right? So we gave them a contact form. And that's not to say that there aren't contact form plugins in the market. There are tons and tons and tons of them. And the problem is that none of them are catered towards beginners. Everybody just created a form plugin. They've thought, oh, this one is popular, let me just copy everything they do. Not knowing, oh, this plugin might not be doing it the best way.
Sure.
If it's working, I'm just going to copy. That's the total mindset. We want to solve a problem. And that's the number one thing. Knowing what you want and knowing where you're going. In order for you to be successful, you have to have a customer. And the best way to get a customer is give them what they want. And that's what we did with WP Forms by creating a contact form plugin that's easy to use. And that's the only thing we wanted to focus on. Not the most powerful, just the easiest.
Not the most feature-rich.
Not the most feature-rich, just the one that does the job and does it very easily. If you install WP Forms, you can create a contact form in like 2 clicks.
Okay.
Literally, 2 clicks.
Sure. One of the motivations that you told me, one of the first few times I interviewed you for Optinmonster, was that the functionality that Optinmonster has, even though it was there, it didn't work the way you wanted, so you decided to code it for yourself first.
Absolutely, yeah.
So how does that contrast between coding something to solve a problem for other people versus coding it for yourself and then deciding this is something that people will want?
Well, so with Optinmonster, I was a customer of 2 other products that were competitors of ours, and they weren't working well. And I knew that I wasn't the only one who was having that problem. So when I built it, I was trying to solve my problem. Then people started asking, hey, what are you using? What tool are you using? And because of our user base, people ask. People want to use the exact same tool that I'm using.
Sure.
And I said, well, it's not out there. Well, when is it going to be out there?
Sure.
Right? I mean, earlier today you were asking, hey, when can I buy the shirts for Optinmonster?
Right.
And if I'm wearing a shirt, people are like, hey, how can I buy this one? Or
sure.
If I'm using a plugin, how can I get this one? So it was built for me, but then our users wanted it, and I knew that it could offer plenty of value because the players in the market that existed weren't quite cutting
addressing that. So essentially, you, even though it was for yourself, you were a customer that...
Exactly.
So you just used that as a reflection to build it for
Absolutely.
other people.
For a lot of our products, I tell a dev team that I'm the customer, and I'm the most pain in the ass customer that you're going to find. So the dev team, if they can satisfy me, then more likely than not, everybody will be happy.
Sure. And then talking back a little bit about success, and everybody wants to know the secret formula, and I don't believe there is such a formula, but walk us fairly quickly through like what your day looks like on a work day. Like, I mean, are you coding yourself? Are you managing the team of people?
Yeah.
And what are some of the principles you use to make sure that day was successful and not wasted?
For sure. I mean, there's no formula, as you said. It's just all hard work. Hard work, I don't think can be substituted. You have to be working. A lot of times people think because of where I'm at, I must not be working all the time.
Right.
And especially when I take pictures of, hey, check it out, I'm in Newport Beach, or hey, check it out, I'm in Yosemite. Like, oh, he's just partying around all the time. No, actually, my day is very, very busy. I wake up fairly early, around 4:30. I start my day early because I'm a morning person. I think I'm the most productive in the morning. I used to try to do late night work. Doesn't work as well anymore. So I do the morning. I wake up. I don't code anymore, first of all. That I'm not good at that. I can code, I'm not the best.
So you hire better
I have
coders.
some of the best coders in my team. They'll tell you that. I mean, they don't need to tell you. I will tell you they're 10 times better than me. It's not 100 times better than me in coding. So I let them do their job. My role now is more in marketing and strategy, seeing where we're going, what needs to happen, who I need to hire more. So more in a management role. I still oversee a lot of the marketing stuff that's happening because we don't have a CMO. We have a CTO, we have a CFO, but no CMO yet.
Sure.
So I'm still.
You're filling that role.
Yeah.
So, really quick before we finish, if somebody says, "Oh, well, Syed's been doing this for 5, 6, 10 years," and they look at this interview and they say, "Well, I want to start there and I want to get there in a few years," what is one thing that they can start today? One actionable step that you would tell somebody, do it today?
Man, just focus. Whatever you're good at, focus. Because there ain't no shortcut. When I first started, and I was putting in tons and tons of hours into buying and selling domain names, working for other people, doing freelancing. And if you look at the amount of hours I put in when I was 12 years old and the amount of money I made, I was probably making like $2 an hour.
Sure.
Right? And you're like, well, you made $2 an hour. Now I get paid over $1,000 an hour, like $1,000 an hour. So there isn't really any shortcut. Figure out what you want and then go just focus on that
and start.
Exactly, just start, because you're like, oh, when you stress about things, you are not doing what you like, right? And when you're like doing something you like, this, you're doing it for passion, all that hard work. You don't feel stressed.
Well, thanks a lot for the time and appreciate it. I hope to see you at other events like Affiliate Summit, and thanks so much for putting out those great products. Look forward to see what else Optinmonster and all the other brands have in store for the rest of the year.
Thank you for having me, Oscar.